everyone. We are continuing our learning of Sefer Yirmiyahu. We are up to Perek Mem Hey. As we've seen a number of times before, the prophecies of Yirmiyahu are not in order. Ein muktam u'mu'ucher b'Torah. In the prakim that we finished, we've already talked about the conquest of Yerushalayim and Sidkiyo, the last king of Yehuda, being taken to Bavel after his eyes were blinded. And we discussed Gedaliah ben Achikam, the governor over the Sheiris Yehuda, the assassination of Gedaliah ben Achikam, the fleeing of the Sheiris to Mitzrayim, and the prophecies of Yirmiyahu that they are not allowed to go to Mitzrayim, and they will be destroyed in Mitzrayim, because Nebuchadnezzar will come and conquer Mitzrayim. So that took us into past Tzom Gedaliah, past the Tishrei, following the Churban. But now Perek Mem Hey goes backwards to a much, much earlier point. And it begins, Pasuk Aleph, Hadavar asher diber Yirmiyahu hanavi el Baruch ben Neriah. The following are the words that Yirmiyahu spoke to his faithful disciple, Baruch ben Neriah, B'kasvai es hadvarim ha'ela al sefer m'pi Yirmiyahu b'shana ha'revius l'Yehoyakim ben Yoshia melech Yehuda lemor. Now, again, why this parak is not written earlier is very difficult, but you'll recall that in the 4th year of Yehoyakim, who was a tremendous Rasha, who was the son of Yeshiyahu, who was a great tzaddik, and during Malchus Yehoyakim, that is when, right, that's 22 years before the Churban, he became king. That is when Bavel conquered Eretz Yisrael. There was no Golus in the reign of Yehoyakim, but that was the kibush, that was the conquest as a result of a war that Yehoyakim was waging with Bavel. And Yirmiyahu was told in the 4th year of Yehoyakim to write the Megillah, and this Megillah is none other than Eicha. So Eicha was written before the Churban, about the Churban. And this was a Megillah that Baruch wrote. And he read it, and some of the officers of the king heard that, and it was brought to the king, and a servant of the king, Yehudi, read it to Yehoyakim. And Yehoyakim, every 3 or 4 lines, would take a knife, cut the parchment, and throw it into the fire. He had total disdain. It was nothing to him at all. But Baruch ben Neriah was the sofer that wrote this, and indeed he wrote it again after the first one was destroyed, and he added Perek Gimel al Pi Nevuah, which is 3-fold Aleph base. And as a result of Baruch ben Neriah's Mesiras Nefesh, Yirmiyahu gives him a bracha from Hashem. Kai Amar Hashem Elokei Yisrael Alecha Baruch. This is what Hashem says about you, Baruch. Now, there's a double entendre here, meaning this is what Hashem says about you, comma, you whose name is Baruch. Or you can read it, this is what Hashem says about you, comma, Baruch. You are blessed. Both pshatim are actually true. Amarta, I know, Baruch, that you were always saying to yourself, Oy na li ki yasaf Hashem yagain al machavi. Alas to me that God has added grief to my pain. In other words, Baruch is basically saying that, number one, I'm risking my life by writing these ideas, because Yehoyakim's policy was to wage war, and he thought Yirmiyahu was a traitor. But also, by Yirmiyahu being mishtatef Baruch in the nevuas of the Churban. Baruch, although Baruch is not a Navi, but he's margish, the tsar of the Churban, much more than other people. So Yirmiyahu is now comforting him. I know that you say, alas to me, that God has given me so much pain. Yogati bi'anchasi. I struggle and I toil in my anacha, in my groaning. Umenucha lo matzasi. I do not find inner rest. These would be the words or the sentiments of Baruch. So now Hashem says to Yirmiyahu, Kai Seimer Elav. Tell Baruch the following message. Kai Amar Hashem, Hine Asher Banisi Ani Hores. It is true that which I built, I am destroying, the Mikdash. V'yeis Asher Natati Ani Notesh. And that which I planted, the Jewish people, I am uprooting. V'yeskola Aretzi. And this will happen to the entire Eretz Yisrael. V'yata, and you, Tavakesh L'cha Gedaylais. You want something great. You want there to be prosperity. You want there to be bracha, and when there's no bracha, you get sad. Al Tavakesh. Do not seek at this point in life greatness. Again, not personal greatness, but don't seek national greatness. Hineni mevi ra al kol basar numash. Now remember, this nevuah, this is the 4th year of Yehoiakim. This is before the Churban. So this is way in advance of the Churban. And you just wrote Eicha, so therefore you should know, once again, that I'm bringing bad on all the flesh, every Jew, Num Hashem. But, Baruch, you have a blessing. You are Baruch. V'nasati l'cho es nafshecha l'shalal. I am giving you your life as your spoils. Your spoils of war will be your life. Al kol hamakomot asher telech sham. Everywhere that you go. In other words, it's kind of a sad nechama. The nechama is, and this is the message to us, cherish life. That even in Golus, even in suffering, you're alive. That's something good. That's something special. Do not be mezalzel in the life that God gave you because you wanted something better. Al tivakesh gedolot.